From your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
Okay, welcome back to Big Country Politics. We are in the office of Judge Downing Bolls, Taylor County Judge, and thank you for being on the show and for agreeing for this interview.
Great to have you.
Well, we wanted to talk to you about the jail. We heard you in the last Commissioners Court meeting saying a couple of things y'all are dealing with. Y'all had a record number of inmates recently at the jail. You're down a few positions when it comes to the COs over there, the correctional officers. I guess you would call them jailers or correctional officers there. And then you're dealing, obviously, with other things that we may not know about. But first I want to talk about the record number of inmates out there.
It is getting very crowded at our jail. I don't know if most people do this. On Friday morning, I'll usually take the newspaper because that's the day after the grand jury meets. And you see stories on the news at night about the grand jury when they return indictments. But you look at the number of drug offenses that we're having in this community, it is astounding what is going on in terms of the drug culture out there. A lot of people involved in the drug situation, and they end up, of course, when they get arrested, they go to jail. They get to jail, and they're really sitting in jail waiting for a trial is what they're doing over there. So in many cases, they can't be released on their own because they've offended. They're offenders. And so they're sitting at the jail, and that starts to create problems for us when they move into jail. In a perfect world, they would go into jail very quickly. They would go to trial. The trial would make a determination about what happens after that, and they'll either go to the state prison system, or if they're less than 10 years, I think they can stay here and serve their sentence out here. Unfortunately, that's not what happens. There is such a backlog of cases going on right now in the courts that, in the case of doing drug testing and stuff like that, and coming up with reports that have to be used as evidence in a trial, sometimes those take 6 months. So for 6 months, we got people sitting in our jail that are doing nothing but sitting there. So that's part of what the problem is, and I think in the next budget we've got an idea that we're looking at that might speed this process up a little bit. But we want to get them through the process as quickly as we possibly can. But I think the big takeaway for the citizens is understanding the nature of the drug culture. I hate to say we're losing the war on drugs, but it's been so long since I've heard anybody use the phrase war on drugs. I haven't heard people talk about DARE programs in a long time. So
yeah, you're right.
It has just sort of disappeared in the cultures out there. Now we're talking about opioid addiction. So it's there's a lot of things going on right now in the drug culture, but that's kind of what's creating the backlog for us at the
Well, and that's what's going to be one of my questions. It's got to be the drug offenses that are filling up the jails. And you said you guys have some sort of an idea how to speed the process up of going to jail and then getting somebody out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah,
right?
look, if I could, and I can't get into too many particulars because this just came to my attention earlier this week, but where the bottleneck is occurring is that you have to have evidence when you go into a trial. A prosecutor must be able to go in and show that that was indeed drugs that this person was doing, or manufacturing, or testing for, or they were doing drugs. So they have these lab tests that have to be performed. We send those lab tests off. In some cases, we send them to the DPS lab to be done. There's such a backlog.
They're backed up, yeah.
Yes, and so that creates this bottleneck that's occurring. Now, the judges want to try to move those cases through as expeditiously as possible. I mean, you're supposed to be able to move through this process very quickly, but not too fast. In other words, you got time, and you have time constraints. So we're trying to make that happen, but when you come to court and they say that we don't have the evidence we need yet to be able to present this case to you, then they ask for what's called a continuance. Nothing is more frustrating than to hear at the end of the day that you had 20 cases go before the judge today and he granted a continuance in every single one of them because they weren't ready to go yet. So the bottleneck is occurring because of the lab situation. So if we can find a better place to do our lab work and speed up the process, that's what we'll do. In some cases, the state of Texas is using out-of-state labs to test their evidence. If we can do the same thing, we can shorten that period down to maybe 6 weeks. So instead of waiting 6 months, we're waiting 6 weeks, and we can be ready at that point to go to trial and get these cases processed and start clearing out some of that backlog at the jail.
Any thought to Taylor County having their own lab? Is that too expensive, or would it offset?
We haven't, you know, the DPS here in Abilene does have a drug lab.
Yeah, you're
but
right.
again,
I
the
didn't think about
backlog's
that,
part of
yeah.
where the backlog is occurring. So we don't get any kind of precedence to move to the front of the line. Although that's an idea that's being discussed as well. That if we can get it done in a more efficient manner, then perhaps we can move to the front of the line as we walk in there instead of having to wait and kind of work our way up through the line. If we come in ready to go and our cases are processed and ready to go, they'll jump to the front of the line, sort of paying an express fee, if you will, like when you go to Six Flags or something.
Sure.
So it's not Six Flags, but
Yeah.
it's a whole different
Not
deal.
quite Six
Yeah,
Flags.
yeah.
Well, and so we have this, I don't know if you want to call it overcrowding, but a record number
Sure.
of people at the jail.
And we do.
And then we're sending inmates out to other jails to house for us, and that's at a cost to the county.
It does, and the big cost there is transporting those inmates back and forth.
Oh, okay.
That's really kind of, because what we're paying per day to house them in somebody else's jail is the same amount we charge if they were to stay in our jail per day. So that cost remains the same. Okay. Now, in one case, Burnett County told us they were going to raise it, I think, $5. But we're not sending many to Burnett County right now. So I think most of ours are out of Burnett County. We try to move them around and get them closer to home as we're able to do so. But the process right now is such that the transportation cost is really what we have to look at. You have to send a deputy down to pick that inmate up, bring them back here to Taylor County, where they'll appear before the judge. The judge will say, going to grant a continuance, and we got to take them back to wherever they were. Okay. As we get space open at the jail, we try to move them back into our jail. We want them here at home because it's a lot more cost efficient to do them that way. The key to all of this, of course, is don't go to jail. And we're sitting here having this big discussion, and but the key to this thing is don't offend. You know, don't break the law, and you won't go to jail. I mean, you hear all kinds of solutions being tossed out. The state legislature was looking at changing the bail bond laws this time. They didn't do it, but they were looking at making it easier for people to get out of jail. And you go, well, you know what? If you got a guy that's out there who's a meth user or a meth manufacturer, and he comes in and tells you, well, I won't do it anymore. We know from the nature of the methamphetamine that's not the case. So that's not prejudging them, but it's just simply, are they a good risk or are they a flight risk? And they might be. And that's the whole reason why you incarcerate them and why you set their bail like you do, is to keep them from fleeing and avoiding justice. So yeah, it's there's so many parts of this, and I think that's what I was trying to talk about the Commissioner's Court. There are so many multiple parts that all work together in this thing that create this problem, create this jail overcrowding situation.
One of those parts is actually on staffing, and there was a conversation about that in Commissioner's Court recently, and I want to talk about that when we come back from commercial, about staffing and how you guys are having a problem getting people in there, and it's because you're competing with other entities, right?
You bet.
All right, we'll talk about that as soon as we come back on Big Country Politics.